Welcome back to That's Clever. I'm Angela Martinez. In a city like Las Vegas, it's easy to lose track of time. But inside the studio of this clay artist, you'll definitely keep your eyes on the clock.
Hi, I'm Michelle Herren from Las Vegas, Nevada. And I think it's time to make a polymer clay clock, like this one. Let's go inside. I'm in my studio off my bedroom, and now I'm going to get started making my clock. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to trace a pattern with a black marker onto my black illustration board. Since I can't cut a straight line, I'm going to go ahead and take this metal-edged ruler and this beat-up looking craft knife, and I'm going to go ahead and cut out my black illustration board. It's almost like butter, only not quite as smooth. Like that. Now that I have my board cut out, it's time to do my favorite part, which is decorate it. And for that, I need this. Lots and lots of polymer clay. But I can't just take this block of polymer clay and put it on a piece of illustration board. First, I have to condition the clay. Now, in order to condition my polymer clay, I need this clay knife. Looks like and is as sharp as a very long razor blade. So I take this and I slice through my clay in about 3 pieces. Flatten, 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 just like I'm baking. This is not just any pasta machine. This is a supercharged, super duper motorized pasta machine. I take this and I make it into a long, flat piece of clay. This is loud. Are you ready? I continue doing this with each of these 3 pieces until this clay starts looking shiny. It takes me about 20 passes through this pasta machine. In order to get this clay to stick to this board, I need to add something that will mix the two together. I think I'm going to use this, liquid polymer clay. So I'm using this high-tech tool I have called my finger to smooth in and even out the liquid polymer clay. Now I'm going to take my roller and I'm going to smooth it over the clay so I don't get any air bubbles. I've trimmed the piece so that there are no more rough edges around the sides. And I'm going to go ahead and paint the clock. I'm just going to sponge it real randomly over the surface of my black clay. It's really cool. I think I'll try this gold next. I'm not a real technical crafter. I'm more of a kind of wing it, this looks kind of good kind of a crafter. And I just keep using all of the colors that I have until I get exactly the look I wanted. Remembering that this is just a craft project and I don't have to be perfectionistic about it. I just do it until it looks good to me. I finished my polymer clay base and I'm going to start embellishing my tiles. I'm taking this piece of white polymer clay that I've already preconditioned and rolled out, and now I'm going to stamp them. I got blobs. That's okay though, because remember, the #1 rule in polymer clay is there are never any mistakes in polymer clay. I can fix that. I'll just take a little rubbing alcohol that I have right here. Trust me, I have it handy. Now that I've made a perfect non-mistake on my first stamp, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the rest of these. Now before I do anything else with them, I want to add a little something. I think I'll use those same pigment powders that I used earlier to paint. I started crafting at a really young age. My grandmother is actually a really amazing china painter. She tried to get me to paint on china, but I'm just not that good at it. So none of the crafts that my grandmother tried to teach me really worked out for me until I discovered polymer clay. I was hooked, line and sinker. I can't stop doing polymer clay. Now I think what I will do is cut them into 4 equal pieces so it'll look like a mosaic tile. There, that looks perfect. They're all even. Now I'm going to go ahead and bake them in the oven from 275 degrees for about 30 minutes. And here they are. I'm going to take one of my tiles and I'm going to push it into my unbaked base. Since I didn't bake the base, it stays soft and acts like a mosaic tile grout. Now that all the tiles are in place, I'm going to put this back in the oven to bake, but first I need to drill a hole for the clock mechanism. And then it's back to bake in the oven. The pieces coming out of the oven, it looks really good. Now what I'm going to do is add this glaze so that it really looks like tile. The glaze is dry. I've added a clock mechanism that I purchased from a craft store, and the clock is finished.